Reach for the Stars, the M&R Rush story, takes you inside the rise of rock band M&R Rush, from local stages and long nights on the road to the passion, music, and determination that kept the band pushing forward. Packed with behind-the-scenes stories, memories from the band, and the spirit of true independent rock and roll, this book captures what it really takes to chase the music. If you love rock bands, real stories, and the heart of the Chicago music scene, this book is for you. Reach for the Stars, the M&R Rush story, available now, because some dreams are too loud to ignore.
Yes, some dreams are too loud to ignore. So we're not going to ignore them. 720 WGN. It's a great book. It's a great group. It's a great history. It's a great album, M&R Rush. And John's here. And now wait a minute. Which one are you? You're neither M or R.
Well, actually,
are you?
I'm not actually.
No.
Although I do have an M, but I'm not the original M.
Not the original M.
That guy over there.
And you are
Marty, the original M.
The original M. So great that you guys could come in.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
As the book is fantastic. And one of the reasons that I think it's so good is that it portrays, well, first of all, great friendship over many, many decades.
Yeah.
Because you guys met, when you were in elementary school playing baseball?
Yes.
Yeah. And here you are today. And so it's a testament to that. But it's also the way the 1970s Chicago rock scene really existed. I mean, beyond the super groups that toured the country and the nation and all that kind of stuff, you guys were like high schools with sticks doing, I don't know, a dance or something like that, right?
A dance. And yes, they called them sock hops.
Sock
dance.
And yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the pictures and the price of the tickets were like, I don't know, $2.75. I mean, I think that's very cool. Stuff like that.
Yeah. It was a great time too for up and coming bands.
Yeah.
Besides, Styx, Cheap Trick.
Oh yeah.
They were playing the club scene. Jim Peterick.
Oh, sure.
He had a new band called Survivor.
Yeah. I remember them.
Yeah. It was a great time.
They're here in the studio and I've got examples of, different tunes. I've got to figure out how to work it in here. Along with questions and comments and anything else. Are we going to talk to Dan Hampton? Is that something that's coming up?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. What's that connection?
Well, I've got a side project. I'm in another band. I'm in a band with Dan.
I asked somebody today, I said, doesn't Dan have a band? And they go, yeah.
Yeah, the band's called the Chicago Six.
Right.
And the original Chicago Six was formed the year after they won the Super Bowl during the NFL strike. And they were around for a couple of years. And then fast forward, I met Dan in 2013. And Dan says, hey, John, you want to help me put the band back together? Because you got time to be in two bands. And at the time, I was working a full-time job, too. So I was having fun.
Yes, indeed.
And Dan, we're still playing the Chicago Six.
Yeah, I was told he had a connection. I'm like, yeah, get him on. It'll be nice for him to come on this radio station and not have to talk to OB.
Was that a little dig there?
No, it's just a joke. Just a joke. Okay. So I read the book and I'm talking about all this friendship and whatever. And I've got some music. So have you got that, the second cut I gave you? Hit it. Okay, I'm waiting. Don't worry. It's coming.
Time keeps marching on.
That's right. Got to keep on rocking. And that song talks, the lyrics directly mention, knowing each other for decades and getting back together again. And I played a little bit of it last night to promote you guys coming in here. And I said, I'm pretty sure that this is the first time that M&R Rush has ever been played on WGN.
You are correct.
See? Yeah. So
thank you so much. Yeah.
Now we've been played on it twice.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There is a book out called Reach for the Stars, the M&R Rush Story. There's also an album out. And that's what we're talking about. There's some very interesting, I mentioned it earlier, there's some very interesting, revelations in the book as far as forming a band in Chicago and, trying to make it,
Yeah.
There's a section in there where I think I mentioned this to somebody about somebody's parents.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when I think of, you got a kid, they want to be in a rock band. The last thing I think of is parents going, great. What a great idea that is. But in your case, that's exactly what happened, right? Your mom,
Yes.
your dad.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell that story.
Okay. Well, like it says, my dad was a drummer to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And supported, there was music around the house all the time, jazz music. And my mother was right behind him saying, hey, if he wants to be a drummer, let him be a drummer. And, so they were very, very supportive, and everybody, all the members, parents were very, very supportive.
That's incredible.
We would play.
What's the key to that?
I guess cool parents.
Yeah, well, I guess so.
But they used to drive us to these dances because and they would stay and stay the whole night.
Wow.
And we would bring the gear out, and it was amazing.
Yes.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm making too much of it, but
No, I don't think you are.
because it went against every stereotype I've ever heard about parents, kids who want to be in a band. I mean,
You don't see that everywhere. Yeah.
That's amazing.
We were very, very fortunate. Yeah.
And how did, your friends, classmates, whatever, how did they react to your parents, like driving you to a gig and then staying there the entire time? Were they like, did your parents sort of become quote unquote some kind of chaperone or?
Yeah, basically.
I mean, you couldn't get away with anything.
No, we did though. I mean, that's not in the book, but there are many things that we got away with. But when Jim Arvia, the author, said to us, hey, this is what I'd like to do for you guys. And he said, but no drama. We're going to keep it,
Right.
all those kind of stories out.
Yes.
And you're not Led Zeppelin, so people don't want to hear about all your,
Right.
your
No, I get that. And I think everybody's got their stories.
Yeah. But we were almost perfect.
Almost.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all you can ask for.
There you go.
At 7:43 at 720 WGN, Reach for the Stars. The M&R Rush story continues after this on 720 WGN. Man, is that awesome.
Thank you.
When I heard that, not to stereotype anything, but M&R Rush, we got some smoking guitars, we got riffs, and I hit the beginning of that and I'm like, what's going on here? And then we get the thing going like that. And, I'm totally into it. I mean, that is an awesome song.
That's our other guitar player, Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Earlier we mentioned Dan Hampton. Dan, you there?
Hey guys, yeah, sounding good. Records, I got to tell you, this is really a treat to listen to. My buddy John, Marty, of course.
Yeah.
You guys talking about the good old days when M&R Rush was basically controlling the rock and roll scene here in Chicago. It's great. It's great to hear it.
Wow. Thanks, Dan. That was Marty saying that.
Those are some kind words. Thank you.
So, John's in your band, I understand.
Well, and see, I guess, when they asked, that guy, well, why do you rob banks? He said, that's where the money is. But if you want a good musician, you go to a good band. That's part of it. But here's the thing. And, John has been a huge part of this, Chicago 6 et al. That we started back up almost 15 years ago, and I think he's really enjoyed it. He and Eddie and Matt Kammerer and Jim Hood. But the main thing is they got to kind of be up close and personal, but not only me, but Steve McMichael and Otis Wilson. And as we all know, Steve passed away last year, and Otis has had health issues, and he no longer is able to sing with us. But for, over 10 years, it was a lot of fun. But what you're here for tonight is talking about 50 years of excellence. And these guys know I was in bands from the time I was 13, and no band ever stayed together more than 2 or 3 years because everybody's always wanting to be the guy, the star, the Ricky Martin or whoever, John Fogerty. And if it don't happen, they move on. Yeah, I think it's amazing, Marty and Johnny and Jeff, all those guys, they've been together 50 years making great music.
Well, that's what I got from the book, Reach for the Stars, the M&R Rush story, along with the other great songs about the music and the places that they played and who they played with. The idea that this has lasted to this point for 50 years, that in itself is just incredible. And what Dan's saying is absolutely right. I mean,
but here's the thing that I think about, in pro sports, how many, Roland Harper got a great opportunity because the fullback of the 1977 team got hurt. And next thing you know, he ran for it. Well, the margin of making it and not making it to the point, if Styx is an amazing band. We all know that. And, Johnny, you just mentioned, REO Speedwagon and Cheap Trick and, of course, the actual group of Chicago. What if those guys were not here? Then where would M&R Rush have wound up? So, it was almost a curse in a way that they were here at the same time. But, hey, 50 years of longevity, you can't find that anywhere, anytime.
Dan, a lot of times people ask us, are you upset that you did not make it to the show? I always compare it to sports, being a sports person myself. And I say, no, not at all. I said, we did so many things that so many bands never imagined happening. And I compare it to, that we made it to baseball. I was a baseball player. We made it to AAA, all right, which a lot of people don't make it that far. And we were so close, but so far to making it to the show. But it really doesn't matter because in our own minds, we got brotherhood, we got team members, and, we're all best of friends 50 years later. And we turned on a lot of people to what we thought was good music, our own music. And, so we did make it to the show.
Yes.
One thing real quick.
Yeah.
Records. I grew up in Arkansas, so I wasn't in this area, this scene, the Chicago scene. But everybody that I've lived here now so long, everybody I run with, my beautiful wife, they grew up with M&R Rush being the dominant force on, the music theme.
Yeah.
And And like I said, now almost 15 years playing with John, I feel like I'm kind of like a cousin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm not in the band, but I'm kind of close, right?
There you go.
Well, I'll tell you, Dan, I mean, I had heard M&R Rush music. Obviously, I had heard of the band, but I never met them. You know what I mean? I never was around the band at the time that all of these things were happening.
But gosh, who didn't know? Everybody knew M&R Rush. I mean, I said it to my wife. I said, she's from Oak Park. I said, you know, M&R Rush is coming on. Really? Oh, fantastic. I love them. And I've been playing the music at home. And it's, you know, one of the nice things about all this, forget whether or not, you know, the level of success or whatever that is. You guys sound great.
Thank you.
I mean, that's what it's about, really, you know. And 50 years is, and here we are, and you're still going.
Oh, yeah. Going strong.
Yeah. Dan, you got anything else you want to throw in here?
The one last thing.
Sure.
I've met a lot of musicians in my life, blah, blah, blah. And maybe most of them are not the guys you want to bring home. Every one of these guys, they are. And Marty, you mentioned, hey, we didn't mind that we didn't make it. Well, guess what? You're probably bigger and better people today because you didn't. But all in all, I mean, it's a glorious, wonderful saga of a bunch of kids that just wanted to make rock and roll, and 50 years later, we're still talking about them.
Absolutely. That's the story there in a nutshell. Dan, thanks for being with us, and look forward to talking to you again. Okay? Dan Hampton.
Hey, OB and I can't wait.
Yeah. I was on with Dan, and we didn't have OB, and I think I got to get an award for that or something. Thanks, Dan. I'll talk to you later. See ya. Yeah. Hampton OB, man.
Oh, that's great.
They are something else.
Yep.
But to hear him talk about his admiration for you as individuals, as people, there's a lot to be said for that. And I appreciate Dan for coming on, and very happy to know that he's been associated with you guys for, he said, like 15 years or so.
Yeah. 15.
And he's not, and as he pointed out, he's not from here.
Yeah.
But when he came here, we heard about it.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I got a few minutes here before we have to hit the top of the hour news, but you don't have to go anywhere unless you've got someplace to be.
No.
Okay.
We'll stick around.
All right. So what's happening now? What's going to happen next? I mean, we got a book.
Yes.
We got an album. What's next?
A lot's going on.
Yeah.
So right now, we're working on a new tune that we'll be releasing as our next digital single.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Roseland Nights.
Oh,
and it was written, the lyrics were written by Jim Arvia, who was the author of the book.
Right.
And that's how we got together. And we were just in the studio. John and Jeff are our producers, and we were in the studio just yesterday.
Wow.
Laying down guitar tracks, and we're gonna mix this thing and get it out, and it'll be the next single to go with the release of the book on the digital platform.
Right. Yes. The book's going to be starting next week, is going to be available on Amazon.com. It will be on Kindle. And
we're going to be doing an audio book, and we have a acquaintance of yours, Mitch Michaels, who's going to be doing the
cruise, man. Doing the cruise.
Doing the cruise with our audio book. Yep. So we got a lot going on.
Well, that brings up an observation, and I think one of the reasons that things still work is that you've obviously evolved technically along with everything else that's happened in the music industry and the publication. You start out in an analog studio in the 70s over at whatever it was, right? Pumpkin, right? Yeah. With reel to reel tape.
Yes.
And all of that, and splicing it with a knife and all of this kind of thing. Grease pencil, marking it.
Yeah.
And no, we don't do that anymore.
Nope.
No. So when you said, we're going to release a digital single, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen.
That's right.
No, but I mean, that's that's important to be able to adapt to change. I mean, the change that you need to adapt to keep going forward with what your product is, what your music is, because not everybody, including myself, have had a great time or easily adapt to that kind of change.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I couldn't find audio on my computer last night when I was on the air to save my soul. So, I mean, I appreciate, being able to evolve. I guess that is the word, along with all the other, technical advancements that, need to be taken today and, used to record and also get the music out to get it on a platform where people can access it.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing is through digital and through the internet, you know, we're proud of this, is that, here goes a little bragging here, but,
do it.
But, you know, our music is heard in 160 countries now, because of the internet. Which is a very, very, very nice.
Yes, it is.
The other thing me and John were talking when we were in the green room about, this book, which we still can't believe that we have a book about us, is when it gets on Amazon, it will be available in other countries, and it will be where if someone in Japan buys the book, it will be translated into Japanese.
Wow. More with M&R Rush coming up within the next hour, but right now it's time to get into the Northwestern Medicine Newsroom on 720 WGN. 720 WGN. Good evening, John Landecker at 9 minutes after 8. If you're just joining us, we're doing a little M&R Rush here. John McFarland and Marty Berdoshian, who are, well, John is John, and Marty is M of the M&R.
Yes.
Right. And we've been talking about a new book that's out, Reach for the Stars, the M&R Rush story, and an album that's out. And I've been playing some of the selections from that. And I'd play longer selections. I would play like an entire tune. But since this station is what it is, we don't have any relationship with ASCAP or BMI. We get to play 60 seconds of just about anything. But if we cross that border,
well, we appreciate you playing it.
Oh, yeah. So there are a couple of things here. Well, let's get to the WLS. You know, it's like I got to do it eventually. So I'm reading the book and I'm just going along, you know, like I do. I'm not expecting anything. And here comes this whole thing about being at WLS in the 70s and as an intern, and Larry Lujak and myself. How did all that happen? And did I do anything really bad?
Oh, yeah, you were. No. Yeah. Well, okay. So I was studying broadcasting at the University of Illinois, Chicago.
Right.
And my last semester, I was fortunate enough to get an internship at WLS.
Right.
And it was a really exciting time, fifth floor of the Stone Container Building.
You betcha.
And I remember taking the elevator, and this guy got off at the fourth floor named Paul Harvey. And then I get off at the fifth floor, and there was Jam Productions, and there was the window, and I would see Larry Lujak, because we were there from like 8:30 to 4 or 8:30 to 5.
Yeah.
And it was an exciting time, as you well know, 1978.
Absolutely.
With Larry Lujak, then Tommy Edwards.
Yep.
Then Bob Surratt.
Yeah.
Then you.
Yep.
And unfortunately, you and I crossed in the hall a couple times, but you know, I was out of there by 5 o'clock most of the time.
I see.
And, but sometimes I'd work late and I'd be in the jock lounge in the back because they didn't have a place for the interns. And
well, they really didn't have a place for the jocks either. That was really, to call that a lounge is a great exaggeration.
Right. You remember?
Yeah.
And I'd be back there. And the biggest thing I remember about that was, Larry Lujak, after he'd finished his show, he'd come back there. He'd put his cowboy boots up on the stage and he'd look through the newspaper for the next day's, animal stories.
You know what? You know what wire copy? Well, you know what wire copy was then, right?
Yeah.
United Press International, Associated Press. back in that day, your wire services were sending all sorts of stuff. News, hardcore news, entertainment news, music news, farm news, all of it. And Larry, he worked, like 5 or 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Right? And he'd get off at 10. And he had a stack of these wire copy news items right next to his boots that were propped up on that desk.
Yep.
And he stayed there all day looking at that.
Yeah.
I mean all day. I'm not exaggerating. He was there until 5 or 6 o'clock at night. And this happened every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't.
Yeah. Well, one of the cool things, so I did learn, I learned what M&R Rush needed to do in order to get played on WLS.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we didn't quite have those credentials yet.
Well, let me jump in and say it was impossible. Getting on WLS with a song in that era was one of the toughest things to do. Just ask Dennis DeYoung.
Yeah. Right.
We would get complaints. How come you're not playing any sticks? How come you're not playing M&R Rush? Well, there's a reason. I mean, I don't think it's a viable reason, but the people who ran stations, and it wasn't just WLS. I mean, this is the way it was at AM rock stations in big cities all over the country. Before you added a record to your music list, it had to perform well somewhere else.
Right.
Right. Like a smaller market, so to speak. So getting on, just because you were from Chicago didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, it should have counted for something, but no.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's the way it was.
And one of my duties was I had to do the call reports where I would call the record stores and they would tell me their top 20 selling singles and tell me, this one sold, this one sold 2 all the way up to the number one sold 60 this week.
Right.
And I'd make these calls all day, all week. And then I'd give the results to John Guerin.
Right.
And they would come up with this is the survey for this week based on those call reports. And I just realized how hard it would be for M&R Rush at that point.
Well, I want to let you know, John, I always used to ask John, why can't you just fib a little bit and say M&R Rush sold 10?
Well, the problem is we didn't have anything out at the time. That was our early days.
But you did get management, the same management as Styx, right?
Yeah. We were like seniors in high school.
Yeah. Oh my God. Really?
Yeah. And like some of those tickets that you see there, we were seniors in high school.
Amazing, man. That had, no pun intended, that had to be a rush.
Yes.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We learned a ton about performing and it was awesome.
M&R Rush, Reach for the Stars, the M&R Rush story. It's a book. There's an album. And let's talk about, as we wrap this up, John and, Marty, let's talk about the charitable aspect of what you guys have done in the past.
Okay. So we have a golf outing. We've been having a golf outing, for years and years. And then we just decided, about 10 years ago, saying, hey, why don't we set this up that we can pick a charity and give a good, nice donation. Mm-hmm. So it started out very small, golf outing, 24, then it was 48, then it was 90, then it was 120. And then last year we sold it out, in 3 weeks, the whole course. And actually there was people waiting in line to play our golf outing, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And we used to play there a little bit, just jam a little bit. And so we used to pick, one was for this year with the book, is, the Breast Cancer Society. We had MS, Parkinson's, and numerous ones.
American Cancer Society.
American Cancer Society. And we just felt good to be able to take our friendship of the people that enjoyed M&R Rush music and take some of that and get sponsors and create a nice donation for charity.
I got to tell you, it's been great to meet both of you. It's been great to read the book and listen to the music. And I hope, the book sells a lot and The new digital release has many likes, streams?
Yes.
Am I using the right lingo?
Downloads.
Yeah. Once again, the book is called Reach for the Stars, the M&R Rush story. Thanks, guys, for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Thank
John.
you.
It's 18 after 8 at 720 WGN. It's 8:22. I wasn't this disorganized when I was at WLS. Come on in. Help me fill the last 8 minutes. Okay. I mean, why not? By the way, did I tell you that M&R Rush is in the studio and there's a book called Reach for the Stars, the M&R Rush story. Thank goodness that you're here, because I suddenly realized I was like 5 minutes short. I couldn't find the commercial copy that I was supposed to read. And
That's radio.
well, it's the way I did it. But, I mean, when I told you, I was talking about the technical aspects and being up on the digital world and computers. I mean, literally last night between 9:30 and 10, I don't know what happened. I had all this great production planned and some news stories and some production that went along with it. And I go to hit the audio and there's nothing there. And I don't understand it because half an hour before that, it worked just fine. And I'm like by myself in a studio. And
It's John Landecker's personal gremlin.
David Jennings from the newsroom right there. It was not good.
We have moments like that sometimes in the recording studio. Myself and Jeff, the other guitar player, we produce all our stuff, and we'll be using Pro Tools.
Oh, yes.
And, everything's going great. And all of a sudden, the computer just decides, oh, no.
It has its own mind.
You're not going to do that now anymore. You've done it enough today.
So when did you make the changeover from, I guess we would call it analog studio recording to the current, like when you mentioned Pro Tools?
Yeah. So I think a good story about that is when we got back together in 2003, we went into the studio and we were going to cut a song called Heavy Metal Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay. That Carl wanted us to do for years and years. And we used to laugh at him and say, we're not going to record it. But he's persistent. And so we went in there, and I think, that was when it really hit me. So we're doing our basic tracks, drums and bass, going through the whole song. And at the end, there's a little drum ditty at the end, and I made a mistake. I lost a stick.
Okay.
And I was very upset and said some words. And I said, okay, I'm ready. Let's do it again. And Jeff and John are in the sound room and says, hey, what do you mean? I says, I got to do it over. And they said, no, come on in here. Uh-huh. This is the new way to record.
Right.
It's not with 24-inch or with tape, right? And 2.5-inch tape, 24 tracks. We do this, hit the computer, and it's fixed.
You cut and paste like a document.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So that was when it really hit me, right? That this is all changed.
Early 2000s. Well, answer your question.
I remember when, way back in the day when you were an intern at LS, there was a, union situation where, I'm not kidding here, where the Chicago Musicians Union still had a representative at the station that was left over from when orchestras and bands performed live on the air. And so a single, you name it, any record that came in that was going to be played on the air had to go to the production room, and the needle of the turntable had to be dropped on the record by the member of the musicians union.
Oh,
and
wow.
it was called a record turner. Then that would be recorded on a tape, a cassette, it was a cartridge tape, which I don't need to get into. At any rate, then that cartridge tape would come over into the air studio, and then
which you didn't have any hand to operate with.
No, of course not,
because it was the person who was sitting behind the actual board.
Right, I didn't. When I got there, we couldn't even turn the microphone on.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was anyway. What was I getting at? So I remember when, I stay on radio for a while, and all of a sudden things start to change. We're playing compact discs. Mm-hmm. Okay, we got to find the track. Then the music is like downloaded on a hard drive or whatever it was, and all of these songs appear before you from a computer. And then as you mentioned earlier, trying to edit or figure out how that worked. Come on. I was like lost.
Yeah.
I was just absolutely lost for a while. Not to say that I've been found now, but
you missed the part of the fun where they got to record things on reel to reel, and then you got to edit it with a razor blade.
Oh, we were talking about that earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, and a grease pencil.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there are all the multiple stories about all the things that album jackets were good for other than holding records. But I'm not going to go there.
Listen to this. Put this in your ego cap. All right. The text line is 312-981-7200. 219. Dear Mr. Landecker, tonight's show with M&R Rush was one of the best shows ever. Thank you.
Wow.
Okay. All right.
Hello. Yep. Thank you, 219.
Yeah. It's nice to know it's going over well. Yeah. 847 said, you guys are reminding me of the fantastic plastic card. Oh, I remember that I still have somewhere in our junk drawer. It was one of the many station promotions that,
boy, I don't remember.
It was supposed to be, I don't know, a parody of a credit card.
Oh.
I don't remember if it even did anything except, would you like one? Write the station and we'll send it to you. But it was plastic, so it would be possible to find it in a landfill somewhere now, I suppose. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, well, once again, thanks for coming in and saving me.
All right.
I appreciate it. Once again, Reach for the Stars, the M&R Rush story. Buy this book. Thank you.